Hello, welcome to new Scene Anatomy video. At Musikmesse 2017, Arturia presented two new keyboard controllers, the KeyLab Essential 49 and 61 that combines everything you would expect from a modern controller. High quality keyboard, drum pads, buttons, smart features and all that for a reasonable price. In the next few minutes I will give you an overview, review and will tell you if I can recommend the KeyLab Essential 61 or not, so stay tuned. Let's start with a look inside the content of the KeyLab Essential 61 that is currently available for €249. The controller comes in a plain white box where you can already see the product on it as well as the software package. Included in the delivery is a simple black USB cable, a license for the Ableton Live Lite, the UVI Grand Piano Model D sample library, as well as a license for the Analog Lab 3. It gives you access to thousands of the best sounds of 17 iconic instruments from the Arturia V Collection 6, and of course the KeyLab Essential 61 controller is nicely kept in white. Installed and unpacked, let's check more in depth the features. On the right side you have 9 encoders and 9 faders. The individual controllers are already pre-labeled with the parameters from the Analog Lab 3 software. Here you can clearly see that this controller is tuned to the Analog Lab software. The encoders and sliders are directly ready to use and responds perfectly to the parameters of the synthesizers. If you like to use other plugin instruments with a keyboard, it's not an obstacle. Users can very easily assign the individual controllers to each parameter using simple MIDI learn commands. An additional clever feature of the KeyLab Essential series is the map selection function, which allows you to save and recall MIDI mappings. This is very handy for working with MIDI mappings on the fly. During my test period there was nothing to complain about the encoder and slider quality. The high quality and smooth movements are here not a problem. Compared to my KeyLab 49 controller, the encoder and sliders of the Essential keyboard are a bit lower in quality. They are very good, those of the big brother have a little more grip in my opinion. At the same level as the knobs and sliders, there are 8 touch and press sensitive pads. This serves on the one hand to record beats, but also to perform two functions, map select and to change the MIDI channel. The quality of these pads is also solid and have a good feeling. They are obviously not comparable to MPC or native instrument machine pads, but they are good enough to quickly pick up a beat. If you talk about a keyboard synthesizer or controller, two things should be not missing: pitch and mod wheel. Let's go to the area where I approach with caution. I have been a KeyLab user for almost 3 years and there the wheels broke already several times. To the Essential keyboard I can say that Arturia has learned from his mistakes and improved it massively. These are completely redesigned and work perfectly, don't wobble and has a perfect grip. There are many mid-price range MIDI controllers on the market that almost always have the same features. One thing you have to leave the KeyLab Essential, it includes some features that are rarely found in such affordable products. For example, a clever and very useful chord function, with which you can save chords in a few seconds. Just hold down the chord button and play the desired chord on the keyboard. The controller saves it then and the chord can be played then on each key. Depending on where you play, you will adjust the scale. A simple but super handy feature that perfectly worked in the tests and which is a big plus for the final verdict. These are certainly not the first features which to look for in a new controller purchase, but the Keybed. Compared to my older KeyLab Black controller, I have to congratulate Arturia here. The developers have managed to build a better and high quality keypad that has a much better key feeling. Certainly keyboards that cost more than €400 feels even better, but what the KeyLab Essential keys for price from $199 afford is amazing. They play clean and it doesn't feel cheap at all. For this a thumb up for the quality as well as the feeling. The goal of the KeyLab Essential is to be the perfect partner in the studio. So in the middle you can find the DAW command center with 10 buttons that can work with any DAW thanks to the MU protocol. Play, stop, forward, reverse, looping and other shortcuts are here. Already in the factory settings there is a template for Ableton Live and the Analog Lab software. I mainly use the keyboard with Ableton and I can say that everything works perfectly. Since you also want to see how much you change a value of a parameter, the controller has also a bright LCD display. This is not only here to give you feedback, but also works as an Analog Lab remote. With the help of a large touch encoder and other buttons, you can scroll through the sound categories and presets in a very simple and target way, without having a look at the computer. With a simple pressing, the sounds are loaded also. Unfortunately, this feature works only with Arturia software products and not third-party plugins. It would certainly be a very good thing if you can scroll through presets in the future inside other instruments from the analog lab. Last but not least, the connections of the KeyLab Essential 61. The connections of the 49 and 61 versions are identical and have a power connector, which is not included, a USB port for bus parrot workings, a sustain pedal input, as well as MIDI out. Here I miss very much a MIDI input because one speaks of a keyboard of €199 and more. With cheap keyboards of €100 I can understand the decision, but the more expensive they are, they should include both input and outputs in a keyboard of 2018. My test phase with the KeyLab Essential 61 has ended successfully, and I can say that it has convinced me in many ways. I'm glad to see that developers have learned from their mistakes from the old higher quality KeyLab series and have already implemented this in the Essential series. The KeyLab Essential can score above all by a solid quality, a very good keybed, as well as many functions. With features like a Chord function or the big software package, it can set itself apart from the competition. On the negative or improvement side, I would have liked it better if the developers have given the keyboard a MIDI input port. Also, I think it's a pity that no power adapter is there, because you need this if you want to use iOS devices. Alternatively, you can use a classic iOS charger and use a MIDI to USB cable with a CCK adapter. Nonetheless, Arturia has developed a solid keyboard that has many features but is affordable for everyone. Whether amateur or professional, the KeyLab 49 and 61 are beautiful controllers with which you can upgrade a music studio cost effectively. And as usual, if you enjoyed this review, please leave a positive thumb and a subscription for more future videos. Big thanks for watching and for your continued support. I hope to see you again in one of my next videos. Bye!